Chelsea Tucker here from tuningchelsea.com. Glad that you're here today. Today I'm going to talk about addictive personalities and what happens after we accomplish, an addiction. We understand it and then we move on, or we don't. So before we get into it, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and maybe even share the video, because all this stuff helps the algorithm get my content in front of more people. So as an addictive personality, you generally don't, I would say, get rid of the full addiction personality. And that sounds kind of scary, right? Because you're like, oh, well, does that even justify any kind of hope for me? Here's the answer. You have an addiction, you understand that you have an addiction, and then you start solving that problem. But then what usually happens is that you find something else to cope with, to deal with that. Now that's the danger. So you're just replacing that addiction, and then you're justifying why this is acceptable versus why this is not acceptable. So I personally had struggled with sexual addiction. Okay, so I wanted love, right? So my problem was stemming from wanting somebody to love me in a deeper, meaningful way. I couldn't satisfy that, so I found sex, and I was justifying that, well, if I couldn't find somebody to love me unconditionally, for marriage and further life experiences together, I'll just settle for sex and I'll be okay with this. Well, I wasn't okay with it. It was just a means of coping with past problems and current struggles. So that was my problem. Then I understood that all these different problems could come from that. And then what I did was I would say, okay, well, if I know that having sex and doing this and doing that could cause me problems, well, then I'll find something else to supplement that with. So then I would buy things. Shopping is an addiction in and itself. You're generally coding over something to replace something else, which is very, very dangerous. So if you have money and you can go shopping, compared to somebody who may not have money and they're putting it on credit cards or stealing or whatever you're doing, right? You'll justify, well, I'm buying it and I can afford it, and that's okay. Well, it's really not okay, because you're transitioning from one addiction to another addiction and justifying it again, which then just creates more roots in that area of addiction that just seeps in and says, well, this is acceptable, that's okay, I'll plant roots here. So then now you're planting roots deeper in this area that's really a bad place to be, whether it was this or whether it was this. This may have more repercussions than this. This may be more harmful than this. The reality is that they're both an addiction. So what we have to understand is that we have to have a balanced life in order to overcome an addictive personality. You have to understand the needs and the wants in life, okay? Then you have to understand the process of life. There's all these different things that are going on. If you have 100 balls that you're juggling, right, in life, the reality is it's probably one of those are going to drop. And if they don't drop all the way to the floor, you're lagging somewhere. Which then generally you create some type of coping mechanism, which is a type of an addiction, which then stems deeper and causes more problems. So you have to understand that addiction and addictive personalities are very difficult to deal with. And then we cannot just substitute our addictions, which is generally what I see happening. So I hope that this video just encourages you that if you are struggling with something today, to seek out some type of resource, which you obviously are if you're watching this video, some type of person to help you get through your addictive personalities, because honestly, it's easier as a social being to talk to somebody. But if you can't write it out, there's all different resources that we can assist with one another, and I hope that this helps you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.